Good morning, this is Amelia Freer, nutritional therapist, blogging for Sheer Lux. I'm going to be sharing my day in lockdown with you, and this is my morning view. It's 5:30 in the morning. I've been tending to start off early like this in lockdown because I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I just find that the days are so full on that I just really relish these quiet starts to the day. I could just have my cup of tea. I always start with a cup of black Clipper organic tea and a big glass of water, and I couldn't be more grateful that I get to have space during this lockdown. I'm going to take you into my vegetable garden. So this is the pumpkin patch. These are the potatoes, and I think some of these are almost going to be ready. They did get really badly bitten by the frosts recently, but fortunately they seem to be okay. This is the first sweet peas. Oh God, that's exciting. We're not actually able to harvest much at the moment, but I'm going to pick a few herbs because I love to have herbs with my eggs at breakfast. So I'll just pick a little basket of a few bits, and then we're going to go and meet the chickens. Good morning, everybody. Hi. Let's see if they've left me some eggs for breakfast. Phew. Perfect. These baby chicks. Hi, everybody. Hi. So these hatched maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They're growing so well. We're trying to get these ones used to being handled and friendly. As you can imagine, my daughter just adores coming out and seeing these guys. They're so sweet. Soon they'll be ready to go outside, but not quite ready yet. Anyway, that's my little start to the day. I've got to get back to the kitchen now, make a little snack for Willow and get her up, and the day will begin. So this is my little basket. I've picked some peonies because they're just ready. I've got some asparagus, a whole bunch of herbs. That's some fennel fronds. I've got some parsley, some chives, and some tarragon under there. They're the eggs that I've just collected. I've got some radishes, lots of lettuce that we'll probably have at lunchtime, and some spinach leaves. Willow's completely obsessed with these Marmite rice cakes, mini ones. She has 2 of those every morning with half a banana. I've got another cup of tea for me and one for Nick and some water for Willow. And although it's kind of crazy getting up at 5:30 in the morning, and I don't always do it, I have to say, there's lots of scientific evidence to show that the benefits of being in nature, but I just find having that morning, that time to myself, being outside, being in the garden, seeing the chickens, sometimes I just sit and drink my tea and look at the trees, sort of my own little meditation, but I do feel so much better for it, and it does help prepare me for the day. Now it's time for Peppa Pig and snacks. We can play the rainy day game. Breakfast for us is always versions of the same. Willow likes a dippy egg, so that's cooking in this wonderful gadget that Nick bought. We'll have some toast. I've got some gluten-free sourdough bread that I've had in the freezer that I've frozen, so I've just taken those out. I have a black coffee. I like Crew organic. They're the same as Nespresso, so they fit into the Nespresso machine, but it's organic, biodegradable coffee pods. So I'll always have a black coffee. And then I'm going to add some of the asparagus that I picked this morning for both me and Willow, and then I'll have a whole load of herbs. I love this sauerkraut. Well, there's loads of great brands, but this is one that I just love. So I'll have some of that on my toast. I'll maybe chuck in a few tomatoes, and I'll have some of the lettuce and spinach that I picked. And then for supplements, every morning I take some ashwagandha, some hyaluronic acid, some immune support, and omega-3. And Willow, she has D3 drops and omega-3. And that's it. I'll show you the finished result in a moment. So Willow's got some toast, a dippy egg, avocado, tomatoes, and asparagus. And here's mine. So I've got toast, avocado, pan-fried asparagus, lots of herbs, parsley, fennel fronds. I've got some of that spinach that I picked this morning, sea salt, a drizzle of lemon oil, tomatoes and chili flakes. Chili flakes are a must for me. Oh, and of course the sauerkraut. Delicious. So this is my little corner in the bathroom. I just thought I'd show you my favourite products. I think that these are the ones that I use every single day. This is the HelioCare water gel, SPF 50 with all of this hot weather at the moment. This is my deodorant. I love the smell and it's a nice natural and sensitive one, which makes me feel good. Trilogy, I'm a huge Trilogy fan and I love this body lotion. I get dry skin, so I use this every day. And then at night, I use an oil. I love this. This just smells absolutely incredible. I can't even explain the smell, but I'm addicted to it. I mean, I've got others. I love 100 Acres. That's a really lovely lavender oil. So to cleanse, I'm big into cleansing balms. So Trilogy Makeup Be Gone. I use this in the evening. It's great for getting off sun cream and any makeup. I'm not wearing much makeup at the moment, but certainly sun cream. And then my other favourite cleanser is Votary. I love this one and I tend to use that one in the morning. Again, it's an oil balm. I'm really into hydration, so I like to use hyaluronic acid, and this one by 12 Beauty is lovely. It's just very soothing and really gives great hydration. And then Sarah Chapman. I use a lot of Sarah Chapman products. Again, they're just really gentle with my skin, but also smell amazing. And Sarah's a friend. I treat myself to a facial with her regularly. She really knows her stuff, so I love that morning facial. And then I also love Trilogy Rosehip Oil, which again is just really soothing and calming. I'm big into balms, which I put on my nails. You can see I've got quite dry nails. So I put this on my feet, on my knees, on my elbows, just any sort of dry bits. It's actually meant for kids, but I love it. I love the smell and it really works when I use it. I use this cream by Sarah Chapman in the mornings. And then I use my Tangle Teaser every morning. I've got very fine hair and it gets quite tatty, so a Tangle Teaser is just brilliant. And I also use this stone. I keep it in the freezer and it's great for just putting on my eyes if they're a bit puffy or if I haven't had much sleep. I forgot to share this. This is by Sarah Chapman and it's a facial massager. You just push it up over your chin and it really releases jaw tension, and then you tap your face with this. You tap all over your cheeks and it just gives you a lovely glow, like having an in-salon facial massage. It's a brilliant piece of kit and I do use that every day. When it comes to makeup, I really like very natural makeup. I hate feeling caked or even makeup that you can see, so I always go for a very simple look. I really like this Trini London BFF cream. It gives a glow, and then these are a couple of foundations if I need a bit more coverage on my cheek area where I tend to get a bit red, but I don't do that very often. The one thing that I do always do is tidy up my eyebrows, and I'll always curl my eyelashes because it just sort of opens the eye and makes me feel a bit better. I really like this cheek tint. It does give just a really nice glow. I like very balmy. I don't do powders because my skin's dry. I need sort of nice glowy, balmy, moisturising things. And I use this Hero mascara, which I really like. It's very light, very natural. And I'm quite enjoying this Trini stack. There's like an under eye concealer. That's a foundation, and that's, I don't know what it is. I haven't been using that bit, but I really like the under eye concealer. Because it's so sunny and hot outside, I'm wearing this gorgeous Lexi London dress that I bought a few weeks ago. It's just really light. I love the pockets. It's loose, it's comfy. It's just perfect for this hot weather. And I've got some basic flip-flops on. Nearly time for lunch. I'm going to make one of my most simple recipes from my book, Simply Good For You. It's this instant tomato and cannellini bean soup. Because it's such a hot day, I'm going to have this chilled, but on other days you can, of course, warm it up. These are the ingredients. We've got a handful of basil leaves, 1 spring onion, that's quite a big one, but doesn't really matter. 2 tins of tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, a tin of cannellini beans, rinsed. We've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil, half a teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 tablespoonful of apple cider vinegar. And then a little bit of water just to rinse out these tins of tomato with, just to get all of those juices. And you literally just pop it all into the blender and whiz it up, and then have a nice good grind of black pepper on top, and I like to add, that's not in the recipe, but I like to add a little bit of lemon zest. It's such a good soup and it couldn't be more simple. Always swirl out these tins of tomatoes with water to make sure you're getting all of that flavour. The sea salt, olive oil, and apple cider vinegar. I've done this with white wine vinegar and sherry vinegar as well, and it works just as well. And voila, that's it. Couldn't be more simple. So I'm going to serve that, like I said, just chilled. So I'm going to pop it in the fridge just to cool while I chop up some crudités and some hummus for Willow to dip into. So there we have it. We've got the soup, which is nice and chilled. I've put on some fresh black pepper and this lemon olive oil, which I'm completely obsessed with. It's by Bayona. Oh, it just lifts anything. Just a little drizzle. It's quite strong, but it's lovely. I've chopped up just some veggies and some hummus, just so that we've all got a few more veggies, and Willow likes to have a little variety of things to munch on. She's just got a little bowl of soup here. And then I've also, this is my veggie bread from the book as well. And I often make batches of this and slice it and freeze it in the freezer. So I just took 3 slices out and I've just put them in the toaster to just warm them up, defrost them. So that's our lunch, and it's such a gorgeous day. I definitely think that we'll eat outside. So I'm at my desk finally. I've just got Willow down for her little rest. She dropped her nap about 3 weeks into lockdown, which I'm still recovering from. It's a grieving process because that nap was the crucial time for me to get stuff done. But she's happily in her bedroom listening to an audiobook. So I guess I've got about an hour and a half to get work done. And basically since lockdown, that's pretty much been how I've been able to work. So lots of stuff was cancelled, as it was for so many people, but there was lots of other work opportunities that came in that I just haven't been able to do, because when you're full-time with a little one, there just isn't the time. So I've had to really strip my work back to the bare minimum. But what I'm focusing on now, I mean, every day I just have tons of emails that I need to respond to, and it just takes up so much time. It means you can't actually get anything else done. So at the moment I'm focusing on my next newsletter. We do one newsletter every month at the beginning of every month, and obviously we've had to adjust the content to accommodate for COVID-19 lockdown circumstances. So this next newsletter for June is all about, well, the theme of it is coping with uncertainty, which is something I've really struggled with because I'm a planner. I like to be organised. I like to know what's happening. I like to know where I'm going, what I'm doing. And I really struggle with this at the moment, just not knowing. I can't make any plans. So that's the sort of theme for this newsletter. But then I've also gone into summer health because can you believe we've been in lockdown for all of spring? And it's the beginning of summer next week. I just can't get my head around that. So we've been researching into summer health, and so therefore that's covering all of the different foods that are about to come into season here in the UK, and just loads and loads of tips and guidance and recipes for how to enjoy them. I'm a huge advocate for seasonal eating. And then we've kind of stepped a little bit out of our comfort zone because we're talking about summer health. We're talking about looking into allergies, things like hay fever, because I know that they're rife for lots of people. So there's lots of tips and guidance and a few myth-busting bits about that. But obviously we wanted to talk about vitamin D because this is the peak time for us to be able to expose our skin to the sun in order for our skin to be able to make vitamin D. So there's a lot of information about vitamin D, including supplementation for both adults and for children. So if you're interested, do sign up to my newsletter so you can get access to all of that. There's also 2 new recipes using store cupboard ingredients, because although I know things are starting to change and it is easier to get out and about and it is easier to get food delivered and that sort of thing, I only get one delivery once a week from Riverford on a Wednesday. So I find, I mean, at the moment today, Riverford comes tomorrow. I've just hardly got anything left in the fridge. So I've been making lots of very simple meals using up sort of store cupboard ingredients. So there's 2 great new recipes for that, because I think that I'm not the only one in that position. So yeah, if you don't subscribe, please do. You can do so directly via my website, ameliafreer.com, or through my Instagram profile. So this is our afternoon activity, and it provides a huge amount of fun. And I can get to sit there and chill. I've got to very quickly rustle up some supper. We're really low on food, as I said earlier, because we don't get a delivery until tomorrow. So we've got lots of veggies. If you didn't have fresh veggies, you could use sun-dried tomatoes, you could use jarred artichokes. I've got a jar of tuna here. I've got some leftover sweet corn, courgette, pepper, some capers, lots of asparagus. Obviously, I use these frozen onions, chopped onions from Waitrose. I find them so useful to have in the freezer when you need to get something done quickly. I'm going to use a couple of cloves of garlic. For me, it's always about the lemon. And then mushrooms. I've got mascarpone cheese and some cheddar, which I'll stir through to make a bit of a creamy sauce. So it's just going to be a sort of veggie pasta, and I must crack on because Willow's going to be starving. And there we have it. I mean, very simple, no recipe required, but really yummy meal made in minutes. Willow's jumping around on her trampoline outside with Nick, and so I need to call them in. Yum.
The muffin.
Yes. So we've set the table. We're eating outside because it's such a lovely day. There's our lovely vegetable pasta. We've got some toasted pine nuts. Mummy's got chilli. The gorgeous peonies and roses from the garden are here. Are you ready to eat, Willow?
Yeah.
Okay. Shall I serve you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You put a little
I know, silly mummy. I dropped it, didn't I? What do you think, Willow?
Yummy.
Good girl. There's
You got beans?
there aren't any beans, no. There's just asparagus, courgette, sweet corn, tomatoes, mushrooms.
And
pasta.
And sweet corn.
And sweet corn, exactly. And there's some pine nuts. Tuck in. I thought, seeing as it's the end of the day, and I've really enjoyed sharing my day with you, that I would share my absolute favourite cocktail. Now, I didn't create this. I wish that I could remember where I found this, but I will find it and add it to my Pinterest board to credit the person who created this. But anyway, I've been making this cocktail for special occasions for a long time, and I just love it. And you can also make a non-alcoholic version just as easily. So I've got some pink grapefruits, which I'm just gonna cut in half and squeeze, some ice. We've got Peychaud's aromatic cocktail bitters. I've got some gin. You can use any gin, but I'm using Hendrick's. I've got some rose water and some cardamom pods, which I'm just going to crush in my pestle and mortar. And then you mix it all together, top it up with sparkling water, and oh my God, it's such a good cocktail. So I'm not great with the specific quantities. I did like a dash of the bitters. I did 2 shots of gin. I did about a teaspoon of the rose water, and I did 6 cardamom pods. But you have to remember to crush them because that's what really releases their oils and flavours. And then I've squeezed the grapefruits. Obviously you can use pink grapefruit juice from a carton, but it just tastes so much better with fresh if you can be bothered and get them. So that's all in there, and you just kind of want to mix it around to infuse, and then I'm just going to top it up with some sparkling water. You can use tonic, you can use champagne if you really want to go for it, but I'm trying not to get, too heavy tonight. So I've poured it, and there we go. I don't know what it's called, a grapefruit gin fizz, but cheers. Is that not Sheer Luxe Pink? I think so. Cheers, girls. So that's a wrap from me. Mabel's already snuggly tucked up, trying to get my side of the bed. I am shattered and ready for bed. I've just been finishing up a few emails. It always takes longer than I imagine. I always have lots of water by my bed. I love this hand cream. It smells incredible, but it really makes my hands soft. My Trilogy Everything Balm is a favourite. I just use it on any dry bits that I've got going on, which, because I garden and cook and wash my hands all the time, my nails and cuticles are always dry and chipped, so I use that. I do a bit of lip balm. I love this I love Bramley. I love all of their products, and they're locals here. They're just a few fields away, but I love this sleep spray, and I always take magnesium at bedtime. And obviously I've cleansed and moisturised, and these are some roses that I picked in the garden, and I can't tell you how amazing they smell. The whole room smells of them. It's beautiful. Anyway, I will wish you all a very good night. Thank you so much, Sheerlux, for inviting me to share snippets of a day in lockdown with you. I hope that it's provided a little bit of light relief for some of you and maybe a bit of entertainment. And I hope that you're all doing okay, and I'll wish you a very good night.